We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Third stop on this road trip. It's the Cardinals and Pirates for a weekend series. And let's take a look at the NL Central standings. No, this is not a mistake. The Pittsburgh Pirates this late in the season by percentage points leading the division over Milwaukee, and the Cardinals are one game back. We are expecting a sold-out crowd here tonight. That's Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Really, this entire weekend should be exciting for the fans of Pittsburgh.
It really should be. The Pirates have got great fans here. They've been very loyal in other sports. They've just had a problem with baseball. But their ball club right now is playing exciting baseball. They're enjoying it. Hopefully the Cardinals can spoil it.
And let's take a look now at our Toyota keys to the game for tonight. When you talk about Albert Pujols, Chris Carpenter, they have been terrific in their careers against Pittsburgh. You look at what Albert's done, 372 overall, and he absolutely destroys their pitching at this ballpark.
You're right. He has the highest career opponent's batting average. He has the most home runs in this new ballpark and RBIs by a visiting player. And Carpenter just pretty much the same. Look at that, a 2.09 ERA, the lowest ERA versus the Pirates since 1946. And he's also 11-2 against the Buccos.
Well, at some point we will have baseball tonight. Paul Mahalem, a lefty, will get the start for the Pirates. And as you just saw for the Cardinals, it's Chris Carpenter. The new look Pirates, the first place Pirates. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, an exciting weekend coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Rain delay no longer. It's St. Louis and Pittsburgh, and look at PNC Park in late July. It's full, a sight that you normally don't see. Good for the Pirates. It's good for baseball to see this place packed. And we've got a pennant race between St. Louis and Pittsburgh. The Cardinals lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Terrio, Jay, and Pujols, followed by Holiday, Berkman, and Freeze, then Molina, Punto, and the pitcher Chris Carpenter. Our scouting report on the lefty, Paul Mahalem. We've seen him a lot. He's 6-9, but a very good ERA.
He's a much different pitcher. He's won 5 of his last 7. Lights out at home. He has the best home ERA in his last 4 starts. The pen is hurting. He should have 5 more victories. 5 times he took a lead. It was blown by the bullpen, and he got a no decision.
John Hirschbeck is the crew chief, so right now after that first pitch, it's in his hands. But it looks like we will get this ball game in tonight. Presley, McCutchen, and Jones in the outfield. It's pronounced Darno at third, Cedeno at short, Walker, Overbay along the infield, McHenry and Mahalem the battery, and that's brought to you by Dobbs. Again, a packed house here tonight. We understand it's sold out, not just tonight, but tomorrow and Sunday as well.
Are you referring, we're going to have 2 different pronunciations of our third baseman?
Are you going to mess it up?
Of course.
There's a guy that absolutely loves hitting against Pittsburgh, and here at this ballpark, we'll get into those numbers momentarily, but Albert Pujols is batting third in the lineup tonight for Tony La Russa. And fresh off his suspension, we get a look at Ryan Terrio. Terrio is hitting .278 on the year with 1 home run, and he's driven in 32. The Cardinals are first in average in the National League at .266 as a team. They dropped 2 of 3 in Cincinnati, 2 of 3 in New York, and here we go in Pittsburgh, and the first pitch is taken for a strike. Laz Diaz is calling the balls and strikes tonight.
Cardinals may see a different left-hander.
I don't want to hear from you.
And we'll get into this a little bit. Last year, his worst game already from the bench. Listen to this.
That's the first pitch of the game. And you could hear our microphone picked it up. He said, I've heard enough already. All right.
Is he talking to David Freese or?
So 1 pitch, and the Cardinals are into it. A couple of smiles in that dugout. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Terrio, and that misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It is Dave Duncan, who it wouldn't be the first time he'd be right in the middle of arguing pitches.
And certainly not the first time that he's had controversy at this ballpark. I remember when he got into a fight a few years ago talking about the Cardinal pitching coach Dave Duncan. 2 balls and 1 strike here on Ryan Terrio. Terrio shoots it foul and out of play.
I have not seen what I'm looking for yet, but Mulholland, one of his worst starts last year was at Texas. He just was smoked by the Rangers. Clint Hurdle was their hitting coach. When Clint Hurdle was named manager, he called up Mulholland and said, "Do you want to know about what I told my hitters?"
He wants to see more of that right there. Pitching inside.
What he told his hitters to stand right on top of the plate. This guy will never throw inside. You don't have to ever worry about being hit. And so he took so much part of the plate away from him. The kid has taken it to heart. Now he is going inside with more purpose, and he's really starting to control the right-handed batters.
Since May 23rd here at home, a .84 ERA for Mulholland. That pitch is taken high and outside, and it's 3-2. This time of year, normally in Pittsburgh, they're talking about training camp for the Steelers. As you look at the ERA, third best at home, Baker, then Kershaw, Mulholland, Lee, and Vogelsong. They're talking about Hines Ward winning Dancing with the Stars, and they're talking about also hockey just around the corner, and that's a foul ball. But it's nothing to do with the Pirates usually at this time of year. And really they've done this despite the fact that they've had a ton of injuries too. Evan Meek, Steve Pierce, Tabata, Jason Jaramillo, Ronnie Cedeno just came back. He's at short. The 3-2 pitch. That's how we start the ball game. And John Jay, who gets the start in center field, is batting second in front of Albert Pujols, as Terrio may have chased a ball.
No doubt, chased the ball up out of the strike zone. That's how he used to pitch, up out over the plate.
One thing about Pittsburgh this year, their pitching has been very good, in particular their starters, and their defense is much improved. The Pirates just won 2 of 3 over Cincinnati. Jeff Karstens, James McDonald, and Charlie Morton, those 3 starters allowed 1 run against statistically one of the best offenses in the game in Cincinnati. High fly ball into right field, leaping and not coming up with it. In right field is Garrett Jones, and Jay is on his way to third with a triple.
One of the aspects about defense is speed. Their team speed is much better now. Talking about speed, wasn't it speedy John Jay going around, just missing the home run, but getting himself over to third base. Off-speed pitch, goes out there and lifts another one. He's hitting over 330 when he starts a game, John Jay.
So Jay with the triple, and here is Pujols, and nearly caught by Garrett Jones. Pujols is hitting 19 for 33 against Mulholland. And he shoots one into deep center field. McCutchen is back. He's at the track. At the wall, and it's gone. 2-run homer for Pujols. And he may have just set the tone in this series. He dominates the Pirates here in Pittsburgh, and that continues in his first at bat tonight. 2-0 St. Louis.
Just like yesterday, pretty good formula. A 2-run home run in the first is really all Westbrook needed to propel that victory. We'll give Carp a little bit more just because those guys want to be part of it. But stunningly, this is only his 3rd home run in the first inning this season. Last year he led the major leagues with 12, but this is his favorite ballpark.
Yeah, last year he hit .321 in the first inning. Tony La Russa puts him in that spot to do damage. And this year he's hitting just .200 in the first inning. But at PNC Park, that's his 27th home run. And it's RBI 78 and 79 here at PNC. There's a fly ball out to right again. This time Jones makes the catch near the track, and there's 2 outs. Going back to Pujols on this road trip. He's now 5 for 24 with 4 home runs. So 4 of the 5 hits have been home runs, and all 3 coming into play with runners on. We'll add another one here tonight.
A couple days ago, we were talking about the possibility of him not reaching 30 home runs. I felt he would, and now after a couple more, I don't see how you stop him.
And here is Berkman, who's hitting .285. Speaking of home runs, he leads the league in homers with 26, and he's driven in 66 on the year. Ground ball, fair ball off the bat of Berkman. Off the sidewall, he'll dig for 2. Presley throwing into second base offline. Double for Berkman, and it brings in David Freese.
Was that the signal for hitting the cycle here in the first inning?
Just inside the third base line as he turned on the pitch. Lance said something interesting to me on the plane yesterday. He said a lot of people look at him from the left side, and that's his power side. He said not so. He said I have just a more consistent stroke from the left side.
You take a switch hitter, their natural side is right-handed, so it usually should be their strong side. But he gets so many more plate appearances left-handed.
Here's a high fly ball, right field again. Jones back, looks up, gone! 2 two-run homers here in the first inning. David Freese opposite field with his 4th home run. And it's 4-0 Cardinals.
Dan, we were talking about his ability to pitch inside. He's cut down on home runs. Well, he hasn't been pitching inside, and they've hit 2 home runs this inning. He only had surrendered 8 before the 2 here in the first.
We've seen it so many times from David Freese going the opposite field. And here's a little check swing. That ball will get down. It's a base hit for Yadier Molina. 5 hits here in the first inning. Long ball, little check swing, excuse me, base hit.
Trying not to smile.
It's good to see that this offense has come alive. We have not seen this in quite some time. Mentioned that Carpenter at this ballpark, along with Pujols, they really have pitched and hit well against the Pirates. This big crowd and the Pirates and Mahalam are shell-shocked right now here in the first.
Ray Surge out there asking the young catcher, well, what's it look like? He goes, I don't know, I haven't caught a ball yet.
It's a 4-0 lead. Mahalam started the ball game with a strikeout of Terrio, triple by Jay off the wall and right. Home run by Pujols. Holiday flied out to right. Double by Berkman. Home run Freese. Check swing. Base hit Molina. Here's Nick Punto. This city has been fired up for more than 2 days for the Cardinals to arrive, and the air right now has been let out of the stadium, to say the least. 8th place hitter Nick Punto getting the start at second base. Ball 1. Punto on the year is hitting .258. No home runs, and he has 12 RBIs. To think about the dominance of St. Louis, if you go back to 2000, the Cardinals are 1-15-64 against the Pirates since the 2000 season. Only the Yankees have dominated the Orioles better than that mark. 3-0 with the pitcher on deck. See Mahalam right now a little bit shook up. Now, he had allowed a total of just 3 earned runs over his last 5 starts at home. He'd gone 4-0, ERA under 1, but right now he is coming unglued. So the Cardinals will send Carpenter to the plate here in the first inning. We've seen Carpenter in his last couple of starts with a pair of extra base hits.
And you know how Pujols dominates in this ballpark. Carpenter has similar numbers as a pitcher against the Pirates.
Pujols is homered. Freese is homered. 2 runners on for Chris Carpenter. He is not even paying attention, Mahalam, right now to Yadier Molina. Not to say that he would want to steal third with the pitcher up and 2 outs. His secondary lead, and talking about Molina, took him halfway between second and third because he's not even paying attention.
I think Mahalam's trying to do is get himself into fielding position.
Carpenter hits it out of play. So 5 hits and a walk here in this first inning. No balls and 2 strikes. Outfield is shallow. Up the middle. Cedeno to his left and makes the play. The Cardinals strand 2. They pick up 4. An explosive first inning for the Redbirds. Skyline of downtown Pittsburgh. It's 4-0 on 5 hits by the Cardinals. And there's a look at the ultimate optimist, Clint Hurdle, the new manager of the Pirates. Let's take a look at his lineup. And his lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Presley, and then you see Darno, Walker, McCutchen, Overbay, Jones, Cedeno, McHenry, and Mahalam. Chris Carpenter 5-7, but pitching much better as of late.
Well, he's 11-2 with a 2.09 ERA against the Pirates in his career. He's about to pass Matt Morris. Needs 1 strikeout to tie Matty Moe for 4th place in the all-time strikeout list. And in 18 starts, 18 of his 20 starts, he's gone at least 6 innings.
And here is Presley, playing in his 20th game since getting called up, and he has picked up 19 runs, and it really has been a factor for them offensively at the top of this lineup. McCutchen has dropped down to bat cleanup, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. 9 RBIs in that time, and batting .351. He's from Ole Miss. A couple years ago, their minor league player of the year for the Pirates. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pretty good team when you got Lance Lynn, you've got Presley, Cozart of Cincinnati, all playing at Mississippi.
It provides a little speed at the top of the order. That's one of the missing ingredients from the Pirates.
Here's a ground ball, too short, backing up on it. Terrio, and just got him by a step. Cardinals defensively, Holiday, Jay, and Berkman in the outfield. Freeze, Terrio, Punto, and Pujols along the infield, and the battery tonight, Carpenter and Molina. Cardinals have a .982 fielding percentage, identical to that of the Pirates. Cardinals with 67 errors, the Buccos with 68. But they say that defensively, Pittsburgh is night and day better from a year ago. That's one of the reasons why they find themselves in first place. Here's Darno, hitting .225, no home runs, 1 RBI, the third baseman for the Pirates.
Darno is the third baseman tonight, but he is supposed to be the shortstop of the future. But he's already committed something like 7 errors in 21 ball games.
He cost them the game, they said, on Wednesday. He had a couple of errors against Cincinnati. If not, Pirates very well could have had a sweep against Dusty Baker's club. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And Darno is one of those young players, as you mentioned, Al, that they're looking forward to seeing how he develops. He's from Pepperdine. And in his major league debut, first base hit, packed house here at PNC, was a triple off the wall against the Boston Red Sox. 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
Now, what does it tell you? Do you think the Pirates are feeling like their minor league system is so much better when you take Pedro Alvarez, their fine third baseman a couple years ago, high draft pick? He was injured, went down, but he's healthy now, and they've kept him down in the AAA level.
They said the reason being they don't want to stunt his growth, but they've gotten a little leeway with some of these players that have given them a break, and they don't have to rely on Alvarez to be an everyday third baseman. He will be. He's a supreme talent, but why not let him develop a little bit more?
And sometimes maybe it's a way of going down there and maybe didn't have the right attitude. and kind of teach a kid a lesson.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 4-0 Cardinals here in the first, and that's right down the middle and a strikeout. First of the night for Chris Carpenter, and again he's moving up that all-time list in Cardinals history.
That ties him with Matty Moe, 4th place in the all-time strikeout list, 986.
Ironically enough, they said that Matty Moe was kind of the final straw here in Pittsburgh as far as some of the moves that they were going to make and not look for a quick fix, but try to develop their team through the farm system.
We read the same article.
Actually talked to some of the people down there too. They were none too pleased.
Well, when that trade was made, we didn't quite understand it.
At all. Didn't make any sense. They called it a debacle with the Matt Morris deal. After it was all said and done, he made just 16 starts the rest of his career. 1.3 with an ERA over 7. They were desperate for a quick fix. They thought he might give them 10 to 15 wins, help nurture along some of those younger pitchers, and that was not the case. Here's a 1-1 pitch to the Pittsburgh native Neil Walker.
The philosophy there was not flawed. It's just that if they would have had Matty Moe 2 or 3 years earlier, it might have worked. Not when they picked him up.
Absolutely. The Pirates payroll is $45 million, and they are looking to add at the trade deadline. First time they've thought about that in a number of years. Check swing did not go, and the big talk is trying to help their offense. They rank 13th among the 16 National League teams in runs scored.
But isn't it interesting? They would rather add payroll than shed prospects. And they were talking in terms of guys like Beltran.
Liner that's caught by Terrio. Walker lines out a 1-2-3 inning. And it sends us to the second. Kids, you can catch Cardinals Kids TV tomorrow. Big Mac explains why batting practice is so important, and Fred Bird opens a lemonade stand. It's all made possible by Shriners Hospital for Children. Airs Saturdays at 11 on Fox Sports Midwest. Al has never missed an episode, and you won't be missing tomorrow. Here's Terrio to lead it off, who struck out to start the game and hits it out of play. After the first pitch of the game, we're not exactly sure who was yelling, but certainly there was yelling from the Cardinal dugout. Laz Diaz said, "That's it. I'm not hearing it." After the first pitch of the game. And Terrio struck out, and then after that, the Cardinals 5 hits, a walk, 2 home runs, and a 4-0 lead.
Remember, and Ryan went after a pitch way up out of the strike zone and really got himself out, and then just the hit parade.
Here's a grounder towards third. 1 away. Chase Darno down at third base.
Like a funky throwing motion, didn't it?
Sure did. And as we talked about, he's naturally a shortstop, trying to play third and give himself some flexibility at this level. So here's John Jay, who tripled off the wall and right. And who knows if Garrett Jones comes up with that fly ball that could have been caught by Jones off the bat of Jay. Could be a different looking first inning.
Appeared to be an off-speed pitch that he just got right in his wheelhouse.
There's a breaking ball and a strike. 1-1 the count. Here's a 1-1. High chopper. Darno over and makes the play. He doesn't cut it off. Jay's safe. Get St. Louis's 2 favorite destinations for one price. The Cardinals Six Flags double play combo. $55. You get a ticket to a Cardinals game, 1-day pass to Six Flags. Just go to cardinals.com/Six Flags. A reminder, we'll be back home on Monday night against Houston. 4 games against the Astros beginning Monday. And field box level seats are $20, part of dynamic pricing. Bleachers $16. Terrace level $9, and that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. And you could see history as Pujols is closing in on 2,000 hits. This is going to get him a little bit closer. Will he try for 2? Wide turnaround first. Here he comes. Throw wide, and he's safe. It's a 2-out double for Pujols. He was going to stop Al, and then you could see that he read that that throw was wide from the left fielder Presley, and it winds up being a double.
And that may be part of the advanced scouting, is twice now the Cardinals have taken advantage of the left fielder's throwing arm without accuracy. You know, we've had 2 safe runners, 2 close plays at second base. A little dive, and Albert clearly gets to the bag first. Hard slide into the inside part as the throw was to the outfield side.
He's now 10 hits away from 2,000 in his career. Here's Matt Holliday.
You might have to not play him one of these games.
Make sure he gets it at home. Hard slide into second base, and Pujols was slow into getting up.
You can see his pant leg really is wet as he kind of jams the knee into the bag.
That home run by Pujols was number 430. And he is 1 shy of Cal Ripken. Pujols is 41st all-time in home runs. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Holliday rips it. Foul. This will be, I believe, the 11th sellout of the year for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the Pirates television ratings are close to 35% higher this year. Winning does that. Winning is the ultimate promotion. One and two. Let's go back to Pujols running the bases. He made it in by inches at second base, and watch how he takes first.
You see right there on the corner. And there's different theories whether it's your inside or your outside leg, but it should make it that sharp and that cut, that close to the inside. You're not wasting a step.
Holliday slams his bat and breaks it. Double by Pujols. He's 2 for 2. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by the Stadium Sports Bar and Grill at Lumiere Casino. It's now open, a sports bar for everyone. And by the state of Missouri, Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Nice little ride on the Allegheny. Enjoy yourself. Park it on the banks and walk on over to the ballpark. You can do that here. A lot of fans do that. McCutchen hits a high fly ball opposite way. And on the move, making the catch, Lance Berkman in right. Good start here for Carpenter. 4 up and 4 down. This late in the season, wonderful to see that the Pirates and their fans kind of reconnecting right now.
It's my 3rd ballpark here in Pittsburgh. Played in Forbes Field, also 3 Rivers. But even in the 70s, when you had the Lumber and Lightning Company, you had great winning teams. They still couldn't sell out. So this is great to see.
The last time the Pirates were ahead of the Cardinals this late in the year, 1999. 1999, and that turned out to be the last day of the season. Lalo Overbay, the veteran. Milwaukee, Toronto Blue Jays, now with the Pittsburgh, hitting .236. And he shoots one out to left. And Holliday puts it away for out number 2. And it brings in Garrett Jones.
Cubs being pretty efficient also.
You know, the one thing the Pirates have done, and it's what they used to do, as you've talked about before, Al, but the Pirates have spent more than $30 million in the draft the last 3 seasons. That's more than any other team. And they've got Garrett Cole, who's a hard-throwing right-hander out of UCLA, Josh Bell, another top pick from this year's draft. They say those two, it won't take long to get to the major leagues. And they're bonuses for international players were over $5 million, which was third most.
There are many ways to spend that money that you get in, revenue sharing. A few years ago, it was accused of going right into the owner's pocket, but now you can't say that anymore. Under the new ownership, they've been putting it right back into the farm system.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Driven out to right field. Berkman watches it hit off the scoreboard and right. First base runner for the Pirates, it's Jones, and it brings in Cedeno. This was an 0-2 mistake by Carpenter.
Really down and in, right there in the wheelhouse. Natural arc of a left-handed hitter. When you try to play it off that
fencing, the cage.
Yeah, it's a fencing. That's what it's going to say. So it's going to have your angles where it's not always going to give you a true hop. And Berkman was playing it perfectly. Just hit one of those side little angles and kick to the right.
A cutter and a strike to Cedeno, the former Cub and Mariner. Hitting .252, pair of home runs, and driven in 23.
He went on the disabled list at the wrong time. Just reinstated today. Suffered a concussion on July the 1st. He's got a 10-game hitting streak with the Bucks. Batting .455.
Pitch that was up. It's a base hit. The Pirates will get on the board. Cedeno makes it 4-1. John Muni is here with his family enjoying baseball tonight. Wants to say hi to folks back home in St. Louis. Can't believe the crowd. Base hit off the glove of Carpenter. McHenry picks up the hit. 2 runners on, and Paul Mahalam will be the hitter.
That's Michael McHenry, their catcher. And I heard some people around the ballpark say that this was Neil Huntington's biggest acquisition, was this young catcher. Not that he's a great hitter, but he's the best defensive catcher that they've had in quite a while, and can really lead this staff that they feel is going to have a lot of talent to it.
They've gone through a handful of catchers this year. And now Mahalam a chance to help his cause and takes a ball. Follow up your point about the runner at first, McHenry. A guy that knows him quite well is his manager too, Clint Hurdle. He spent a number of years in the minor leagues with the Colorado Rockies, then was picked up by the Boston Red Sox. He was at Pawtucket, traded for all in 1 month for a player to be named later. So he was with 3 different teams, and he's found a home with the Pirates.
Yeah, correct. And Clint's current hitting coach has a background in Colorado and knew him also.
Two and 1. Cardinals about to hit the Pirates 6-3. They lead it 4-1. Pair of 2-run homers in the first, one by Pujols, the other by Freese. Up the middle, base hit. Thrower going to third. Run does score to make it 4-2. McHenry runs into a bad out, but the Pirates have cut into this lead. It's 4-2. Back in Pittsburgh, and it's a 4-2 St. Louis lead. As we go back to the swing here of Mahalam with 2 runners on, brought to you by Plaza Tire Service. A base hit up the middle. A run would score, then The catcher who was running at first really runs into a bat out here. It could have turned into even a bigger inning.
Cedeno will score the second run, but here's where he runs in. He does stay in the run down long enough for the second run to score, but missed a big scoring opportunity. That ball was right out over the plate. Letter high from Mulholland. Carp can't be doing that.
The Cardinals have Berkman, Freese, and Molina. Berkman doubled his first time up and came around on the home run by Freese, who's on deck. Molina also singled and a check swing. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, Pat Paris has now joined us. And Pat, some good news certainly with Kyle Loesch, who is scheduled to start in this series. We weren't sure if that was going to be the case.
He went home yesterday to Pittsburgh and had it checked out, an MRI on
to St. Louis.
I'm sorry, to St. Louis. Then he came back to Pittsburgh last night. He had inflammation in his right finger and he felt some pain as well as he was throwing. Got an MRI, checked out fine, no structural damage.
Here's a chopper. Cedeno, no play. Goes into center field. Berkman, though, was hustling all the way down the line, ran through the bag. It's a base hit, and he's 2 for 2.
So it basically was just the inflammation. So they needed to treat the swelling, which they have with the anti-inflammatory medication. And he felt fine today when he went out and threw a bullpen session, a side session, and so he's good to go. They give him the green light.
Do or die play. Neil Walker doesn't pick it up. Got on by Cedeno, but now he's fully assured that there's not a physical problem. He's looking forward to his start on Sunday.
David Freese with a runner at first. Opposite field home run. First time up, number 4 on the year. RBIs 20 and 21. Was there a particular pitch that affected that?
We don't give scouting reports, Dan, and so I won't tell you what the particular pitch was. I'm just saying they're not allowed to give scouting reports, so we don't ask as members of the media.
We did show him look at his finger at one time.
Yes. He said one particular pitch hurts worse than others, but it really wasn't that pitch that was giving him the problems while he was pitching, which is odd. But he said now he looks back on it, those last couple of starts, yeah, maybe it was something in there, but he felt so much better today during what normally would have been his side session yesterday, but it happens today because he was traveling yesterday. And so he's very optimistic. I think more than anything, he's really relieved because of what he had to go through last year.
He's had some odd injuries.
Absolutely. You see that tattoo on his forearm, and that's covering up that big scar on his right forearm.
This could be a double play. Out at second. Double play. First double play turned by either side. 2 down, and it brings in Molina. Darno, the turn by Walker, who's a former catcher in their system. And then Overbay over at first. It is crazy when you look at the game of baseball and how you see certain relievers started out as pitchers or vice versa. In this case, on that double play, Darnell is a everyday shortstop in the minor leagues. Neil Walker started out his career as a catcher, then moved to third, now playing second base. And then you have Overbay, who's naturally a first baseman. The chance of let's go Bucks here at the ballpark.
Neil Walker, a huge fan favorite here because he grew up in the North Hills area of Pittsburgh, went to a school called Pine Richland, was a 3-sport star, a huge football star as a matter of fact, and probably could have gone that route, but he chose baseball and the Pirates made him the #1 overall pick as a catcher.
Pat, he told me, and he had 21 touchdowns as a wide receiver, talking about Neil Walker in his senior season in football. He told me last time we spoke with him in St. Louis that basically it came down to having a really high scholarship for football or take the money and go baseball. And he said really the only reason that he wanted to do this is because he was drafted by his hometown team. Right.
And his father was a professional baseball player and actually
Tom Walker
in the Cardinal organization and did get a cup of coffee at the big league level with St. Louis.
2-1 pitch. Driven out to right field. This is trouble again. Molina on base for the second time. Check swing and a base hit. First time up, and now a double to right.
Saw something out of Yachty yesterday in the 9th inning when he had that single, stole a base, then ended up scoring, that maybe he's starting to heat up a little bit more at the plate in 2 hits tonight.
Oh, been a long day in that heat yesterday.
Oh, can you imagine that? And then right out there again today. Yesterday it was Nick Punto, who we talked to immediately after the game, and he was seated at his locker. Usually when you come over there, they'll stand up, but he looked totally wiped out.
Well, he was busy yesterday.
He was busy yesterday with all those ground balls, and here he is getting an intentional walk. And then he's right back in there again today, because with the lefty in Mulholland, it was the schedule that if Punto was good to go, he was going to do these 2 games, yesterday afternoon in New York and tonight in Pittsburgh.
So first base open, Carpenter on deck, and they'll walk Punto. Second walk that Punto has received. You can subscribe to MLB.tv and see every Cardinals game live or on demand at MLB.tv, STLCardinals.com. Mulholland helped his cause. Let's see if Carpenter can do so as well. And he does. It's a base hit into right field. Molina will score, and the Cardinals have the lead of 5-2. Carpenter with his first RBI of the year. And just like the Pirates, who scored their runs with 2 outs, Carpenter delivers with 2 outs here.
Manager puts that strategy on, potentially walks the 8th place hitter, bring the pitcher up, and then it's up to the execution of the pitcher or the hitter. In this case, Carpenter comes through. It's his 17th career RBI, and as you said, his first this year.
Extends the inning to Theriot back to the top of the lineup. And here we are in the 3rd inning, and already the 3rd plate appearance for Ryan Theriot.
Cardinals already have 9 hits in this game. And now Carpenter's how can he be at first base arguing with the home plate umpire?
It's Carpenter. It looks like Tony La Russa just said to Chris Carpenter, you know what?
Well, he's going to try and say you can't argue balls and strikes. He's trying to tell him to stay away. That's my Carp. That's what I like.
You know, people wondered where kind of his edge had gone earlier.
I have wondered where it's gone.
You have too. We've all said, okay, where's that?
Not me.
It's back. It's been back the last few starts. but
I didn't question it earlier this year either. I think this guy is as competitive as anybody in baseball when he's right or when he's wrong.
And
I mean by results.
And it's kind of an unwritten rule when, you know, if you're the starting pitcher, it's your day. You get to pick the music, you get to pick the mood, you get to kind of decide who you want to, you know, who you want to love, who you want to hate. But that's just part of Carpenter, being Carpenter and being the competitive warrior he is.
Here's a 2-1 pitch to Theriot. Slowly hit towards third, and Ryan Theriot is out at first. So Carpenter back to work when we come back. Fun at the old ballpark with Laz Diaz and Chris Carpenter. Those two have had words a couple of times already here tonight. We're only in the bottom of the 3rd. If you have a question for us, go to carsoup.com/Cardinals and send us your email the booth questions.
I also noticed Matt Holliday stopping at second base to talk to John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, before he went out to left field. And it was an extended conversation for probably a minute and a half.
Sometimes, Al, isn't that one of your teammates? Because Carpenter did say something to Hirschbeck when he was running off the field. It's one of your teammates maybe passing the message along. Hey, we got our guy. You get your guy, and let's just play baseball. Fly ball out to left, and Holiday backs up to make the catch.
A little politicking, huh?
Absolutely. Presley, their leadoff man, is 0 for 2, and it brings in Chase Darno. Including tonight, these two teams really could have a say on what the other one does the remainder of the season. Including tonight, there are 13 games left between the Cardinals and the Pirates. The Pirates in a stretch of Cincinnati, St. Louis, Milwaukee, and then San Francisco.
And 9 of those 13 remaining with the Pirates are right here at PNC Park.
That's right.
So over the history of this ballpark, the Cardinals have played extremely well.
Yes, they have.
Although the last
21
games, it's 10 wins, 11 losses for the Cardinals, dating back to the mid-2008 season. So it's been a little more of a rough patch with a not very good Pirates team the last couple of years.
Here's a 2-0 pitch by Carpenter. Grounded foul. Say that Clint Hurdle, as I mentioned before, the ultimate optimist. Took over a tough situation with the Rockies. Finally, after a long tenure there, got them into postseason play, got them to the World Series. And there's a liner into right field that's caught by Berkman. And now, of course, you remember Clint Hurdle as a player. The Chicago Cubs in Chicago, August 19th. The Cards and Cubs through the 21st. The road trip package includes hotel accommodations, hard to get game tickets, and the chance to mingle with players after the game. Here's the number to call: 800-892-7687 or Cardinals.com/vacations. Clint Hurdle was noticed by a scout when he was 14. First round pick in 1975. And 6 weeks after his 20th birthday, he was in the big leagues with Kansas City.
My first year with Kansas City was the year he was on the cover of the Sports Illustrated, the phenom of baseball. And he had a tough road. You know, he really had to change. He was a line drive outfielder. He had to replace John Mayberry. He had to become a home run hitter and a first baseman at 20 years of age in the big leagues.
Catch made by Holiday, a 1-2-3 inning for Carpenter. Jay, Pujols, and Holiday coming up. Pujols is already homered tonight. Here's John Jay with lightning in the area. And let's hope that rain stays away. It's 5-2 St. Louis. As we move to the top of the fourth, Jay, Pujols, and Holiday. Outfield is straight away. Jay has tripled and scored in the home run by Pujols and also grounded out to short. Breaking ball swung on and missed. The Pirates pitching staff last in the league in strikeouts, but the motto is don't walk anybody, challenge hitters, put it in play with this improved defense that they've had. That's taken a little bit high.
Ray Surge, the pitching coach for Clint Hurdle and a former Cardinal minor league pitcher, you know, has gotten a lot of credit for helping these pitchers this year.
2-2 reached for and lined out to short. The catch made by Cedeno. Cardinals campout is presented by Bass Pro Shops and Tracker Boats. August 19th. Spend the evening on the field under the stars. Cardinals.com/campout. Again, the Cardinals want to make sure that you know discounted tickets. All 4 games for Houston next week. Field box $20, bleachers $16, terrace level $9. Part of dynamic pricing. All 4 games next week against Houston starting on Monday night. Big night already for Pujols. Taps it foul. 2-run homer and also a double. One ball, one strike. Outfield deep, straight away for Pujols. Hits it to third. Darno with it. 2 outs. pitch that's up and in to Pujols, tied him up just a bit.
Just got in there enough. Looked like almost like cutter. Had to pull the hands in, pulled the bat through.
Matt Holliday. You know, the other day when Pujols hit the home run in New York, that gave him at that time 1,287 career RBIs. You think about some of the company that he keeps that moved him past Lou Gehrig for most RBIs through their first 11 seasons. Lou Gehrig. The catch made in right field by Garrett Jones. (5-2) St. Louis. You can follow every Cardinals game through Game Connect on FoxSportsMidwest.com. Check it out right now as you watch the game on TV. You can join the conversation on Twitter, track trends and stats. Game Connect at FoxSportsMidwest.com. That pitch up and in to McCutchen.
Dan, that Game Connect, when I'm sitting here watching the games, when we're back at St. Louis watching you guys as well, or at the stadium, you're a stats guy. There's everything for you.
Base hit by McCutchen into center field. The speedy outfielder is aboard for the Pirates.
You're talking about Clint Hurdle and how the optimist, but he also has to be a disciplinarian. And there was a game earlier this year that McCutchen did not run out of ball, and he benched him. And everyone took notice of that because they hadn't seen something like that for a long time around here. And now I think even McCutchen understands that he's got a lot more responsibility than he did before that lack of hustling.
You had John Russell, you had Jim Tracy here, and now it's Clint Hurdle. Here's Lyle Overbay, and these fans right back in the game. He's flied out to left, 0 for 1. Talked about the injuries the Pirates have sustained this year, and there's a light rain here at the ballpark. 3 members of their starting 8 from back on April 6th when they won that game are left. 3 of them. And yet they have found a way to win games. I think you also have to be realistic too, is that we're not playing in the American League East Division.
And you have to be realistic and understand it's they've been able to overcome some of those injuries now, but can you do it over the course of 162 games? I said when we saw them, remember we saw them in the second series, you do not want to play a young club like this that doesn't know that they're not good enough yet.
That's pulled foul.
But they are a much improved ball club.
Rain delay to start our ball game tonight. One and 2 the count. The Pirates have turned a double play tonight. Let's see if the Cardinals can do so. Nobody out. Runner at first. And the 1-2 pitch. Strikeout. The second of the night for Chris Carpenter.
Tied him up and in. Good pitch. Just make sure you got to get it in far enough.
Garrett Jones is one of those guys with the ability to power up, guy that they want in the lineup. They've tried to make him into a right fielder, and I think it's still a work in progress, as we saw in the first inning. But with Lyle Overbay, Garrett Jones didn't have a position to play if you're going to have Overbay at first base. So they're still working with him and hoping that he can man that position in right.
Remember a few years ago the power that he displayed when he initially was called up. He was picked up from Minnesota, and in 2009 in 82 games he had 21 home runs. Breaks his bat and an out.
And he hit 21 home runs all last season.
Exactly. They're still trying to figure out what they have with Jones. A shattered bat. The concentration by Nick Punto to make that catch as that barrel went right by him. And there's 2 away.
Barrel was coming harder than the ball was at the end.
Really was. We saw a play with the Mets. Remember, their second baseman let it drop. Similar type play and then turn 2. But in this case, a little bit tougher to make that call. Here's Cedeno, who singled with an RBI and a run scored. Back in the second inning. Cardinals lead it 5-2 as we play in the Pirates half of the 4th. Just a light drizzle here at the ballpark. Chris Carpenter throwing a ton of pitches lately. 118 per game over the last month. He's coming off 116 pitches his last start, 8 innings against Cincinnati. Right now, it doesn't seem like that's a concern for Carp, the coaching staff. We noticed it early on when he was going very deep into games, 130 plus a couple of times, but not as much anymore as he seems to get stronger as the game goes on.
It's a mindset, and I think they really found a new way of.
Here's a grounder deep in the hole. Force play at second.
Stretching out and his preparation between starts.
We played 4. It'll be Berkman, Freese, Molina coming up. We're back in Pittsburgh. It's our AT&T trivia question. Named the only All-Star in the '97 Pirates roster. It has a Cardinal connection. It's Tony Womack. In 1997. Why would we bring that up? Last time that the Pirates felt that they were in contention this late in the season.
That was the season that the Astros finally won the division. They were only a few games over 500. And I think the Pirates are only a few games under 500.
Since divisional play of the NL Central came into existence in 1994, this is the only time right now, this late in the year, the Pirates have had a winning record. Pirates are 24-14 inside the Central Division, and they have played very well here at this ballpark.
And it's been all about pitching in the division. 2.97 ERA for their starters within the division. And that's how you win baseball games, Al.
We also have an excellent closer. They're trying to add some more relief help.
Aren't we all?
I would hope so.
Off-speed pitch, slowly hit Mahalam over, and underhands to first for the out. Berkman is the first out, and he's 2 for 3. On this date, 1933, 1993, the last time they were ahead of St. Louis this late was 99. You see the winning records. It has been nice to see them win and have fans back at this ballpark.
Averaging 20.5 games out is what they've averaged.
Yes.
Since their last year of going to the NLCS in '92.
Sid Bream.
Sid Bream, that's right. The Braves. And it was Barry Bonds.
That's right.
Looked like he might have been able to throw him out.
1 ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Still a light drizzle here at the ballpark, and a 2-1 pitch. Freese is homered tonight to the opposite field. Also bounced into a 5-4-3 double play. Mahalam gave up 6 of his 9 hits in the first 2 innings tonight. 3-1 and a base hit. 10 hits for the Cardinals. For those of you just joining us tonight, First inning, got it all started for the Redbirds. Pujols continues his dominance at this ballpark. Right center and then right field for David Freese. Two-run homers. Yadier Molina is 2 for 2. A check swing base hit to shallow right center. And doubled and scored last time up.
Carpenter retired the first 5, then he fell into a little bit of trouble in the second inning with 2 outs, allowed 4 straight singles. He scored 2 of their runs, but both starters have kind of settled in.
Mahalam, a first-round pick in 2003 for the Buccos out of Mississippi State. And he was asked, what's the most nervous you've ever been pitching in a game? He said, not my first start, not my major league debut, not anything like that. He said, spring training, I had to face Billy Crystal.
That's right.
Billy Crystal.
Remember that when he did that? Yeah.
Got a chance to play for the Yankees and faced Paul Mahalam. Ground ball, look at that play. Out at second. It's a double play. The second turn tonight by the Pirates. This one started by Chase Darno. Chase Darno starting this double play. 5-2 in favor of the Cardinals. Very nicely done. And then knowing who's running, they take their time on the turn. That's Walker. And the second double play turned by the Pirates tonight. Ball was smashed. That's our Hyundai Foxmo. Look what I found. A double play.
14th double play that Molina is hit into, and the 107th for the Cardinals.
Michael McHenry. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Buckled his knees. 0-2. Pirates have used 7 different catchers this year. McHenry, a veteran of over 500 minor league games and just over 30 major league games. Puts it in play. Carpenter steps and throws and makes the play. What's on tap is presented by Budweiser. Jaime Garcia, Kevin Correa. Garcia is 9-4 on the year tomorrow at 5:30 St. Louis time. Jaime trying to pick up win number 10.
Correa's already got 11.
We'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 with our pregame show.
Big lightning over downtown, right over the skyline.
That's where you hear the oohs and ahs of the fans. There's a ground ball, slowly hit. Pujols steps on the bag. So 2 outs. Brings in Presley. Slim Salih becomes the only pitcher in Cardinals history to steal home, scoring the first run in a 3-1 win over Brooklyn. Our Schnooks this date in history. And that gem of this date in history was picked out of all the different things in this date in history by Keith O'Brien.
It kind of makes sense. But you know Keith, don't you?
Keith was enjoying a nice plate of corn when I saw him and talking with one of his good buddies, Keith Oberman. Those two work in conjunction together, Al. I don't know if you knew that.
They're kind of one and the same, aren't they?
It was odd, too. He had this big plate of corn. Here's a 1-0 pitch and a strike to Presley, who is 0 for 2. He's grounded out to short and also flied out to left.
I'm feeling much better. Your jokes are getting. I'm understanding them more.
Sometimes you have to have a joke that only a few people understand to keep your sanity through a long season.
Yeah.
2 balls and 1 strike.
And thank goodness we have Keith.
Yes. In the dirt. 400 average at this ballpark. Trying to give them a little boost to the top of their lineup. Pittsburgh percentage points ahead of Milwaukee and 1 game in front of St. Louis at the start of play this evening. 4 in front of Cincinnati. And that's a ball. As Carpenter looks back at the home plate umpire. Big crowd tonight, sellout. The fans are coming back as you get a look at what they did on average a year ago, what they're doing now with over 23,000, 10 sellouts. Number 11 is here tonight. That's the most since '01. Mentioned that the TV ratings are much higher now here in the city of Pittsburgh.
Up in July, 62% the TV. As you mentioned, Dan, overall about 35% up.
Here's Darno. People that don't know, Pat, you lived here for a number of years, and without question, it's a football town once it starts. Not just the Steelers, but college, high school, they get into it, and it's also Sidney Crosby.
It's a hockey town. Mario Lemieux made this a hockey town. Talking to a lot of people today around this city, though, you're seeing a new generation that had never seen winning baseball. 18 years of non-winning. You've got a new generation that now suddenly is saying this 2011 Bucco team, Clint Hurdle-led Cardinal team, is making them a baseball fan. There was no reason to be a baseball fan if you were born after 1990, let's say, in this town.
Neil Walker was 7 last time they had a winning record, I believe. They said that I guess McCutcheon was about 5. He was in kindergarten.
I talked to Neil Walker today about that very thing, and growing up a Pirates fan, he was always a Pirates fan because of his dad being a baseball player, and he was always a great baseball player, but it was very irrelevant for a lot of years here.
Third strikeout for Carpenter sends us to the 6th. Punto, Carpenter, Terrio coming up. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. And for a limited time, Jack's Really Big Chicken Sandwich Combo is back. It's only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. Gorgeous ballpark, PNC. Here in Pittsburgh, it's 5-2 Redbirds. They about hit the Buccos 10-5, and here's Nick Punto. Punto trying to bunt his way on. And tonight, pair of walks, one of those intentional, back in the 3rd. Now, they talked about previously in his career, Paul Maholm used to jump towards the plate, and in doing so, slightly pulled off his pitches. What have you seen with his delivery tonight?
You know, I understand what you're saying. I think in the effort, I can't remember if he threw from the other side, but remember we were talking about him consciously trying to pitch inside right-handers. You see him now throwing on the third base side. A lot of times, you're always going to have a lefty always throws across his body to some degree. Some are so severe that it just scares pitching coaches. But it's kind of a fact of life. But if you're jumping out there, you're really having a hard time having repeatable delivery.
That's hit out of play. 2-2.
You want things to be just muscle memory, where you're swinging a golf club, swinging a bat, pitching, that everything is the same, and you don't have to think about it. Just your body, just you start raising your arms, and it just gets into a fluid motion, and you can repeat it time after time.
Inside to Punto. 3-2, the leadoff man here in the Cardinals' top of the 6th.
And one of the other things you really have to study too, Dan, is when you're a little out of whack, where the ball goes. You know,
A fly ball into right center. McCutcheon, great speed, makes the catch. Build-A-Bear Workshop Day at Busch Stadium coming up Sunday, August 14th. 12,000 fans ages 15 and under. Receive a bear honoring Stan the Man. Visit Cardinals.com to find out more. Great giveaways all weekend long against the Rockies.
if you're consistently a left-hander and you're throwing the ball up and away to a right-handed batter, you have to understand why. How to bring it back into the strike zone. And you're dropping your elbow, your front shoulder's flying open.
Slowly hit to short. 2 outs, top of the lineup, Ryan Terrio. It's worth repeating just how well he has pitched at home. Last 5 starts, 4-0 with a .84 ERA for Paul Maholm. Became a full-time starter in the major leagues in 2006. Only time he's not been below 500 was 08. He was 9-9. But for many of these pitchers, sometimes those records with these losing teams can be misleading. You're not getting run support. You're not getting help defensively.
And we talked about too. He's been in line for a win 5 times this year, only to walk away with a no decision because of blown saves by the bullpen.
Floats in there for a strike. Here's a 1-1 to Terrio. Breaks his bat. Cedeno charges. Gloves, settles, throws, and makes the play. Cardinals go in order. Walker, McCutchen, Overbay coming up. This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the Braves look to keep pace in the East. They'll head to Cincinnati. And it's also the Padres and Phillies. Fox Saturday Baseball at 3, only on Fox. Neil Walker, the Pittsburgh native. I was telling Al about the story of Neil Walker during the break. Favorite player, Roberto Clemente, and obviously he never saw him play. But the reason why he said his favorite player is Roberto Clemente is that his dad was supposed to be on the plane that Clemente's plane went down in, and he perished. 1972. And Roberto Clemente told his dad, don't worry about it. It was New Year's Eve. He said to also others, go have fun. And he was going in after the earthquake in Nicaragua. Plane went down, and it did not have Neil Walker's dad. So as he said succinctly, without Roberto Clemente, I wouldn't be here. Pretty amazing story.
It really is. I had the pleasure of facing Clemente, and I say that because you want to face the greats, just see how you fare against them, and then you find out they're great and you're not.
Here's a liner. Al, you had 13 years in the big leagues. I'd say you did pretty well. Off the bat of Walker, and there is 2 lineouts off his bat. He also lined out to short, so Carpenter hasn't been fooling him, but he's gotten away with it. Walker's 0 for 3, and it brings in McCutchen. McCutchen is 1 for 2, and the home plate umpire looking like he's talking with Molina about some of the lightning that's in the surrounding area. Looking up at the sky and pointing beyond left field.
He's also using every bit of psychology that he knows for Carp's sake, for his sake, for lightning. Let's keep the game moving.
You know what's been odd is, and you get a look at McCutchen here, and it's 5-2. Tony La Russa, last couple of innings, has gone and talked to the first base umpire, Wally Bell. We're not sure what that's about because he's not the crew chief.
No, it was John Hirschbeck came over.
Okay.
He came over to first base, so it was the crew chief.
And do you think they're talking about weather potentially, or?
Potentially, that's one of the options. Or when I first saw Tony come into managing, and that was 1979, he took over for Don Kessinger in the White Sox. Tony was only about 36 at the time, and he baited umpires. I mean, he was in their face arguing every second. And you could go back and see a lot of old footage. But when he came to St. Louis, and I started watching him, and he had a totally different attitude. And I said, you've really changed against umpires. He said, I had to. I learned you can't beat them. You know, you really have to kind of work with them. I got in a great discussion with Dave Duncan. And this was back when we still had the American League and National League umpires. Now they're under the same umbrella. And I asked Dave, I said, what do you think about the difference? And he said, I think the National League umpires are better, with one exception. The American League umpires you could have a conversation with. The National League umpires, you try to have a conversation, and they just shut you off.
There's a line shot, the base hit to the right from McCutchen.
And part of the point what Dave was saying is this can be an emotional game And sometimes you'll say something and you don't really mean it, and it can be misinterpreted. But people have to have a little thicker skins. They just got to realize that we've got to keep the stars in the game, and everybody just go out there and have fun. Nobody comes to watch an umpire.
Foxmo brought to you by Hyundai. McCutchen on a pitch that's up, takes it to right. And he is 2 for 3. And I think you would agree, Al, there are certain players and certain managers that get leeway all the time they've spent in the game, and probably in previous conversations how they've handled the situation.
There's no doubt about it. Everybody has a different personality. Some click with some guys, some don't. But it's my understanding Joe Torre's new job, one of the big responsibilities that the commissioner's office gave him was to rein in the umpires. Not only to help with the discipline of the players, but also to rein in the umpires.
Curveball misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Major League Baseball's had an issue the last couple of weeks with certain crews that they may split up because of that. Joe Torre should know better than anybody. Some of those crews, the guys that have a short fuse, hot tempers. McCutchen is leaning, not running.
And maybe one final thought on the umpires is, I think the worst, is over with. The umpires that really would bait you. We had a period of time, and it was in the 70s and 80s, when umpires would really challenge a hitter. If they said, didn't like a pitch or something, they'd meet them halfway as they came out to the field and make sure they would confront them so they could throw them out. That stuff is stopped.
3-1 the count. Famous shot. Tony La Russa in the middle of a brawl picks up a bat, throws it off the fencing behind home plate, about midway up. I believe it was when he was with the White Sox. He was so upset. 3-1 the count on Overbay. He's flying to left. He is struck out. Runner goes, and it's fouled straight back.
One of our greatest video of a player being mad at an umpire. George Brett. the Pine Tar game and everything like that. But yet, it's one of our coolest videos we've ever seen, to see George snap like that. And obviously the umpires did a great job in containing a situation.
Tim McClellan was part of that game, the umpire who is still considered one of the better ones in baseball. He's been around forever. 3-2, runner goes. Fair ball off the sidewall. McCutchen to third. They're going to hold him up there. And taking second base on the play, Overbay. And the time run will come to the plate. It's 3 hard hit balls off of Carpenter to start this inning.
Running on the pitch, got that speed, he's got to pick it up. Berkman plays the carom off the sidewall perfectly, gets it into Albert. And at that play, he only had the chance, maybe could have gone to second, but they could have thrown that one wide, so did the right thing. Carpenter's left some balls up out over the middle of the plate.
A pitch taken for a ball by Jones. Carpenter's allowed 7 base hits tonight. He has struck out 3. Cardinals lead 5-2. Little flare. This is going to drop. 1 run is in. Here comes Overbay throwing to second base. They got him, but 2 runs come in to score. Ball that wasn't hit all that hard does the most damage in this inning. Little Blute, a single McCutchen and Overbay come around to score. I'll tell you what, Overbay was right on the heels of McCutchen. He read it perfectly.
Well, he had a good angle. The runner at second base could see. Here's Jones belly flopping. But here's what we're talking about.
Cedeno lines a base hit.
Overbay is the trailing runner. Look how close he is to the speeding McCutchen. But from second base, he could see that there was no chance that Holliday could catch that ball. So he could just take off and start running. Or McCutchen at least had to get a read and make sure it fell first.
It's 4 consecutive hits against Carpenter. And the first out was a liner. McHenry is 1 for 2, and here comes the crowd.
Say McHenry has 1 home run. A game winner off of Marmol. It's a pretty good way to win you over some fans.
Talked about if it comes down to the bullpens tonight. Last year, the ERA for the Pittsburgh bullpen was close to 5. This year, it's 5th best in the league. Last year, 28th, so that is an improvement. Their closer is very good. They're right back in the game. It's 5-4.
All-star closer. That's a big difference.
Time called after the lightning over the skyline of downtown Pittsburgh, and that'll get your attention at the plate. It's hard enough to hit Carpenter. Then you got to try to battle through the lightning.
Jason Grilly, veteran right-hander, was signed as a free agent yesterday for that bullpen.
And it's a base hit over Pujols. You wonder if Clint Hurdle will pull his starter here and go for it. That's exactly what he's going to do.
He's got to. He's so deep into a ball game. You know, he's already allowed 10 hits. He's given you 6 innings.
Xavier Paul will be the pinch hitter. Runners at first and third.
He's 2 for 16 in his last 19 games.
Out to visit Cardinal pitching coach Dave Duncan. Xavier Paul was a member of the Angels opening day roster. Made 5 appearances in left field, 1 appearance in right. And now he's with the Pirates, and you get a look at the pitch count at 83. And this place is ready to explode.
But there's been some ugly little hits like this. Not even hit on the good part of the bat, but just muscled it over the head of Albert. There's been some hard hit balls, but there's been some ugly balls on both sides. And remember, you're talking about, even though they're looking for relief help, they're still not afraid to go to that bullpen.
Paul looks at a ball. 10 hits aside, 5-4 Cardinals. Bottom of the 6th, 2 outs. Runners at first and third. .86 pitches tonight for Mahalam. Gave up to 10 hits and the 5 runs, pair of homers. Struck out 2, walked 2. One of those was intentional. 1 ball, 1 strike on Xavier Paul.
And only having 2 strikeouts, he kept that pitch count down.
Pujols will take it. Pirates strand 2. They pick up 2. We head to the 7th. Jay, Pujols, Holiday coming up. Carsoup.com email the booth question from Jeremy in Jackson, Missouri. Have you guys heard how the field is coming along at Busch Stadium since the concert? In reference to the field being torn up for the U2 concert, the entire grass was lifted and taken out, and My understanding, Alan, talking with some of the folks that work full-time with the Cardinals, the field looks gorgeous. Now, having said that, that's from afar. Until we see them play on it, we just don't know.
Yeah, totally replaced. And we know how hard they work. The grounds crew does a great job.
Here is Daniel McCutcheon, who's in our Chevy call to the pen.
It would be hard to believe there wouldn't be a few soft spots, but I don't think it's going to be any more problems than we had last year.
Daniel McCutcheon has been very good for the Pirates this year in the setup role. Watch this lightning. The skyline of Pittsburgh. McCutcheon has made 6 straight scoreless appearances, 5 innings. He's been scored upon just once in his last 13 games. 3 of his 25 inherited runners have scored. That's only 12%. So when you look at those kind of numbers for a reliever, that is way above average. John Jay leads it off against McCutcheon. 5-4 Cardinals.
Dan, if you're going to have an all-star closer, you're going to have at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 pretty good setup guys to get you to him. And McCutcheon's been a really pretty reliable guy in the 8th inning, pitching here in the 7th.
And Jay lifts it out to center from one McCutcheon to another. 1 away.
So overall numbers, his 43rd appearance. Not a real strikeout type guy, but that's not this staff. Kind of pitch to contact.
Now it's Pujols. And he looks at his strike. At PNC Park, it's about a year's worth of at-bats. He's closing in on 600 at-bats at this ballpark. So you're talking about a year's worth. And he just keeps on hitting. That's off the wall on the side. Pujols will dig for 2. No, he'll stop. And back to the bag at first. They hold him to a single.
But that 3 hits here, 3 for 4 tonight. He's got to be over 380, doesn't he? Or right around it.
Came in at 387 at this ballpark, so that's on the rise. He now has 27 home runs in his career at PNC Park. And with the 2-run homer earlier, that's 79 RBIs. Not too shabby.
My understanding, the highest average, the most home runs, and the most RBIs by any visiting player.
And right behind him with home runs and RBIs, Lance Berkman for visiting players.
There's Ray Surge, again, the pitching coach.
Mitchell Boggs, who we saw in the 9th inning yesterday in New York, getting loose. The Pirates out to visit after a couple of hard hit balls. The fly ball to center from Jay. And the double or near double by Pujols wound up being a single. By the way, Albert is a triple away from the cycle. Pujols homered in the first, doubled in the second, grounded out to third, and also singled. Now you have Holiday here, who yesterday he struck out 3 times. Today, Al, he has struck out, also fly twice to right. Bat is kind of dragging a little bit. Have you noticed that late on some of these swings? That this is when he could turn a pitch around real quickly.
No doubt.
Very short lead at first by Albert.
You know, Matt a little frustrated, but he keeps his emotions in check.
Except when he smashed his bat in 2.
Well, that's, see, it was in check.
It didn't fly anywhere. Is that his feet, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Made sure nobody was injured, but somebody will pay.
It was after the strikeout of Holiday back in the 2nd inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pujols will catch you when you're sleeping, and remember Cardinals had their first steal since June 9th yesterday, and it was Yadier Molina, which ended a streak of 33 consecutive games without a steal. He had to go back to 1977 for a streak like that. It was Cleveland. The longest streak, 56 consecutive games by the White Sox in 1950. So it wasn't quite there, but still, it caught your attention.
Back in the 50s, though, you didn't steal. You know, a stolen base champion might be in the 30s. You only stole if it meant something. You didn't steal just to get into scoring position or to take third. You know, like Lou Brock would rarely ever steal third, just a handful of times because he said, I'm already in scoring position at second.
Holiday bounces to short. This could be the third double play the Cardinals have hit into. StubHub is where you'll find the seats you want, the freedom to choose where you'd like to sit. Official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Cardinals. Entertaining ball game here from PNC Park in Pittsburgh.
9 runs, 21 hits.
This is Presley. The Pirates leadoff men have the highest on-base percentage in baseball at .378.
Wow.
And this is the leadoff man tonight. He has walked, fly to left, and also grounded out to short. Little grounder right side. Pujols to Carpenter. And there's one away. 88 pitches tonight for Chris Carpenter. But you look at all the mileage he's had on that arm the last handful of starts, his last 6. It's a bunch, and he's coming out 116 last time out against the Reds.
You really look at it, he's pitching here in the 7th inning. He's had 2 innings. 2 innings where he's given up 9 of his 10 hits in those 2 innings. They scored a pair of runs in each one. Still's got a 5-4 lead. And even though he's given up a lot of hits, you don't really say he's laboring.
Trying to bunt his way on is Darno, second place hitter, who was lined out to right, struck out twice, and 0 for 3. The Pirates at this ballpark have not lost a home series since the end of May, and they've won 9 of 12 here at home.
One of the reasons why the crowds are coming out, even with the Cardinals' big start to this game, their 4-run first inning. These fans, they got quiet, but they didn't leave, and they've stuck with their buccos.
Here's a high fly ball into left. 2 away. We talk so much about Pujols at this ballpark. We started our telecast talking about both Albert and Chris Carpenter. Carpenter 2.09 ERA against Pittsburgh, 11-2. And you think about winning percentage with a minimum of 15 starts, only John Tudor in baseball has been better. The former Cardinal was 9-1.
Mentioned 11-2, 2.09 overall in his career against the Pirates, but here in Pittsburgh, 5-1, 2.65 ERA, so he's pitched very well in this park.
And the Pirates are running into one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. 5 starts previous to this one, ERA of about 1.5. The 0-1 pitch, taken low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Walker's hit into some tough luck. He's lined out to first. He's lined out to short and also flied out to left. Hitting .407 in the month of July. In the top 10 in RBIs in the National League with 62 this year. Began his Pirates career as a catcher, then was moved to third base because they thought Ronnie Paulino would be the everyday catcher for years to come. That didn't happen. He's found a home at second. 3-1.
mentioned, just doing a great job in July, and he's really hit the ball well tonight. Nothing to show for it.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Rips it again to Pujols. That kind of night for Walker. He can't buy a hit right now. Let's take a look at tonight's HP Touchpad game recap here at PNC Park. As you get a look at the jerseys, the All-Star jerseys encased, the memorabilia. Carpenter 7 innings, still in the ball game. Pujols a 2-run homer, and Garrett Jones with a double and 2 RBIs. HP Touchpad game recap. Lance Berkman leads it off, and a lefty is in. They've got a pair of lefties in their bullpen. One more of a long inning guy, but here's the situational lefty who's been around for a while. That's Joe Beimel.
Free spirit, he's got good stuff. Turned Berkman around, but hitters have hit just under 300 against Beimel, 298. Has made 6 straight scoreless outings.
5-4 Redbirds. Berkman digs in. Interesting that you want to turn him around, but Berkman against Beimel is 5 for 15, 3 doubles, 4 walks. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And right now, he doesn't look like he's throwing as hard as he used to at all.
I agree. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Off the end of the bat, McCutchen makes the catch. Almost overran it. Our Nissan drives up the game. First inning, Albert Pujols. That's number 22. RBIs 58-59. Then David Freese opposite field. Over the 21-foot high wall and right. That was a 2-run homer and his 4th of the season. Clint Hurdle is going to make the change as Beimel gets Berkman.
Might have been a little.
Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Bank of America, where ATM deposits are as easy as an infield fly. No deposit slip, no envelope with Bank of America. Member FDIC. And by AT&T. Beimel gets Berkman. And now he'll get David Freese. These two have never faced each other before. This has been the primary setup man for Clint Hurdle. And Beimel gaining confidence by the day because he's back from rehab dealing with an injury, and then he struck out Jay Bruce with the bases loaded. A big out for Pittsburgh the other day in their series with the Reds. So the situational lefty used here in the 8th inning gets Berkman, and now here's David Freese.
You kind of saw Clint Hurdle out there with a big smile trying to say, hey, I don't care what those numbers say. I believe in you, and you got the guy out. And that's the same thing he's going to talk about Resop, who they claimed off of waivers from Atlanta late last year.
Yeah, Resop, who is a setup man in the 8th inning. They also really like Jose Veras, who is in their bullpen, another right-hander. And the lefty outside of Beimel is Tony Watson. He's a rookie, but they consider him and are grooming him more as a long man.
And he just barely makes contact with the toe and on the rubber. You wonder if that, you kind of, a lot of times you see somebody like this, can he get inside to a right-handed batter, or is he predominantly away?
2 balls and 1 strike. tapped foul. 2-2. Freese has got a pair of hits tonight with the opposite field home run. Also a single last time up in the 5th, and it's grounded into a double play. The Pirates have turned 3 double plays tonight. A 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to the second baseman, Neil Walker. Two outs, and here's Molina, one of those double play victims. That was back in the 5th, and Yachty also has a single, a double, and a run scored. 2 for 3 on the night. Now, we were talking about how this game is interchangeable with these parts, that sometimes a player could start as a position player, move into being a closer and a pitcher. You never know, but sometimes you have to have a chance. And here's a high fly ball. McCutchen is back at the wall, leaps in, it's gone. Home run, Yadier Molina, and some insurance here in the 8th.
Wow.
Yachty is a triple away from the cycle.
Let's don't get carried away now.
I agree.
But that sure pleased his buddy, Albert Pujols. Yachty, 3 hits on the night, and a big one here in the 8th inning. Big insurance run. Brings a few more smiles to that face. Not only his great smile, but the personality and everybody in that clubhouse. He means so much to, so much more than just to the pitchers.
Now Nick Punto with 2 outs. Takes a strike. Big night for Molina. Big night. The home run hitters, Yachty, Pujols, and Freese. The 0-1 pitch to Punto. I was about to say how you get a chance. And Hanrahan was used as a starter when he was with the Dodgers. Then he was a setup man and got traded for, when he was in Washington, for Niger Morgan, and now he's turned out to be one of the premier closers this year.
I tell you all the time that sometimes it's so important. You have to have somebody that likes you more than the guys that dislike you.
And having a chance.
Give you that opportunity. And a lot of it, Dan, is you'll find one person, and maybe a teammate. It may be a pitching coach. It could be a manager or a front office personality that all of a sudden convinces you that you're better than what you really think you are. And then, as you said, the opportunity comes after it.
There's a base hit into right for Punto. On base for the 3rd time. So Yadier Molina with a single, double, grounded into a double play. Great effort here by McCutchen to scale the wall, but couldn't pull it back in. Home run for Molina, his 6th of the year. Safe at home, safe and secure, New York Life. 2-run lead. Carpenter will hit for himself.
What does that tell you? You know, you talk about all the offense and everything else, but this guy has a lot of intestinal fortitude. He's not looking over his shoulder. He's not saying, I did my job, let somebody else do theirs.
He is right now at 96 pitches, and warming up in the bullpen is Valdez.
Yes.
This is where, though, you really miss, if you needed him, Kyle McClellan. You've got a couple lefties coming up. He's your setup man the last 3 years, and he's so good at getting lefties out.
And right now,
and Carpenter hits it into left center field. Punto to second, on his way to 3rd. They'll stop right there. It's 1st and 3rd with 2 down. And Carpenter with his 2nd base hit tonight.
2 for 4 with an RBI. Pitching, not his best game, but you know, I mean, he's out there just on fumes and adrenaline.
So here is Terrio, 0 for 4 tonight. Ryan Terrio has struck out twice. He has grounded out to short. He's also grounded out to third.
Stalling here, trying to get someone warmed up, but apparently, and, you know, Tony and Dave Duncan are trying to do the same thing with their bullpen. They're trying to instill a lot of confidence in guys down there, and right now it's kind of a tough stretch. You know, who do you go to in the 7th or 8th inning? You know, you really don't have the confidence to go to one of the situational left-handers, or you don't have that defined guy right now. But you can't let those guys in the pen feel that way.
The 7th career 2-hit night for Carpenter. Runners at first and third. Big run down at third. Terrio looks at a pitch a little bit low. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th. The cleanup man McCutchen, followed by Overbay and Jones. Cardinals with 14 hits tonight. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a light rain starting here at the ballpark. Terrio sharply hit to first, and by holding that runner on, hits into an out. 6-4 Redbirds. This Capretta telecast is presented by authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. A look at the line score tonight. The Cardinals with a lead of 6-4 on 14 hits, and for Carpenter 96 pitches as we start play here in the bottom of the 8th. Andrew McCutchen will lead it off. Daniel Descalso takes over at third.
Kind of a weird line score for Carpenter, as you said. 7 innings. You saw the 10 hits, but 9 of those have come in 2 separate innings. Appears that Valdez continues to throw with a couple left-handed hitters behind McCutchen.
And a question then for Tony La Russa, if it comes up, if McCutchen would reach, or even if he doesn't. You want a Chris Carpenter on fumes, or do you want a rested Valdez coming in? Here's the 0-1 pitch to McCutchen. Hit out of play.
Do I have to answer?
I was going to say, I know my answer.
We have the same one.
Yes, we do.
Go, Chris.
Rain continues to fall. It's picked up a little bit. McCutchen with a pair of hits tonight. Remember, last time up, he took a pitch up and out over the plate to right field. So back him off the plate here. Let's see what this next pitch is.
Might have been the best pitch of the game.
On 1-2. It's an inside fastball and hit out to center. 1 away. You just don't get too comfortable in there.
No, and that is it, Dan. And that was the point that when we started this ball game that Clint Hurdle was telling Maholm is hitters were so comfortable knowing that they knew that you'd never throw inside. You know, they had no fear factor that it would be such a blatant mistake that they just go up there and just took charge of the strike zone.
Fouled back by Overbay.
Umpires have taken a lot of that aggressiveness away from the pitching staff and make it tougher on pitchers, but you'll still find the guys that win pitch on both sides of the plate.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Overbay is 1 for 3 with a double back in the 6th inning. 2-1. Valdez just standing on the mound in the bullpen right now. Loose and ready if need be. Ground ball. Backing up. Pujols to Carpenter for the out. This is the Chris Carpenter that every fan of the Cardinals loves to see. The way that he's been pitching now, probably the last month and a half, you'd have to say. 104 is his pitch count.
Remember, that pitch count started going up when it was trying to keep him in a game long enough to get some offensive support. He has the least amount of offensive support of any of the Cardinal starters, and going deep enough to get some wins.
Qualify.
To qualify, and he started liking it. But he said all season long his arm has felt great, even when he wasn't pitching as effectively, giving a lot of hits. But he seems well suited that you know, he's going to just gut these kind of games out, going to battle your way, and that's nothing what we think short of him.
Here's a 1-1. On his hands in a foul ball. 2 strikes. Just going back now. Last game, 8 innings. Before that, 6. Then 8, 9, 7, 8, 6, 9. I mean, he is going deeper and deeper into games. And every time out now, you feel that the Cardinals have a chance to win when he's on the mound. The 1-2 pitch, a curveball. Got him! Strikeout. 8 innings in the books, and Carpenter has struck out 4.
Back at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, going to the 9th inning, and the rain continues to fall immediately afterwards. Of course, it's Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Jim Hayes, Cal Eldred in studio. They'll talk about Albert Pujols' mastery of PNC Park continuing. Albert Pujols certainly doing a great job today. Yadier Molina, how about in the clutch with an RBI home run? I got a little help with the umbrella, by the way. And, of course, Tony TV, all that and more coming up on Cardinals Live. Dan, Al, up to you.
It's Pete Deanna holding that umbrella for Pat Paris. Here's a ground ball that's hit to short. One away. Wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing to have a quick inning here and get Carpenter back out there. Jason Grilli is the new pitcher for the Pirates. They just picked him up.
It wouldn't hurt for a little bit of insurance. So it looks like Salas is throwing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Not been an easy trip for Salas. Walk-off homer to Cincinnati. Walk-off home run to the Mets.
It really hasn't been an easy trip for the bullpen.
Good point. 1-4.
And at some point, Tony and Dave Duncan know that you've got to get those guys back on track. You can't let them.
Pujols hits it down to the left, and then a one hop over the wall. It's a ground rule double. Albert Pujols tonight, a home run, 2 doubles, and a single. Maybe the Pirates should get in on trying to re-sign him or bring him in here.
They were looking for a bat, right?
Yeah.
Willing to spend money.
I mean, this guy is unbelievable at this ballpark.
Oh, it's only an 11-year flash.
Not enough of a book on him.
Yeah, not enough of a book.
Here's Holiday. Fly to right, struck out. Grounded into a double play. Twice he is fly to right. One-0 pitch. 2-0.
Got Grilli here, who signed yesterday with the Pirates. He had a escape clause from his Philadelphia Philly AAA contract. Exercised it here in the big leagues. Sped up his bat right there. really was 4-1, 3 saves, and ERA under 2 in 28 games for Lehigh Valley, their AAA affiliate.
Two balls and one strike. Trying to bust him in again. Three-1 pitch to Holiday instead of check on Pujols with one out here in the ninth. First inning, if you're just joining us, the Cardinals came out, scored 4 runs on first inning at bats that included only 7 pitches. Triple by Jay, home run by Pujols. Berkman a double. Freeze a home run. You looked up and it was 4-0.
Also looked up after the first pitch and had an argument with the home plate umpire.
Right. The 3-2 pitch to Holiday. Two outs. And the right fielder Berkman.
They're 0 for 5 by Matt Holliday. He and Ryan Theriot haven't had any fun tonight.
Reminding him, I'm sure, first base is open. He'd rather deal with the man on deck, Descalso. And not even worried about it. They're going to intentionally walk Berkman. Second intentional walk issued by Clint Hurdle. The other one was back in the 3rd inning to get to Carpenter, and he made him pay. And Descalso, 7th inning or later, he does damage. Let's see what he can do here.
Yeah, they don't know. For the season. And 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Scalzo's hitting .333, 13 RBIs.
They'll visit again. Quick scan report here on Descalso. Big run at second base. 6-4 St. Louis. Berkman also a runner out there at first. Descalso on the year, hitting above .260.
It just seems ridiculous. It looks like it's about .210 in the first 5 innings or 6 innings, and then it just jumps up to about .400.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Popped out. They'll get the out here. Catch is made. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Carpenter, will he finish it off? 6-4 St. Louis. Chris Carpenter is our Budweiser player of the game. 8 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 1 walk, and he struck out 4. But Carpenter is not going to finish this game off. The Cardinals electing to go with Fernando Salas.
Carpenter tied the last 7, but he's going to turn it over to Fernando, who has blown 3 saves on the year. Giving up 5 home runs now and a couple walk-offs of late. See Schumacher out in right field.
Rain falling. Some of these fans on their feet here at PNC Park. It is loud. Tony La Russa will go with Salas to face 7, 8, and 9. Cedeno, McHenry, and then the pitcher spot. Cedeno is 2 for 3.
One of those tough decisions, and there's really no right or wrong reason. You know, it's good. In Tony's mind, when he has a tough decision like this, it's always, well, if it works out in the negative, which way can I live with myself? And his belief is, Salas has done the job for me. I got to trust him.
Fly ball, right center. And a catch made. John Jay. Wind is swirling right now. And it looked like that ball was held up just enough for Jay to get there.
It was just perfect.
First out. Pittsburgh 1-41 record this year when trailing after the 8th inning. If the Cardinals hold on, Carpenter picks up win number 6. The Cardinals win number 52.
Make the rest of the weekend a little more interesting.
Tony La Russa also trying to find out about his young closer right here.
That's it.
Been a tough road trip, no doubt.
But will he wilt, or will he come and rise to the occasion? I think we've said he's not afraid, and he's going to come up pumping strikes.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a 1-1.
He was not with the ball club when the Cardinals saw the Pirates very early in the season.
Two and 2. Also part of this process, I'm sure, for Tony La Russa making the decision. These two, and speaking about Cedeno and McHenry, 2 hits on the night apiece against Carpenter. The 2-2 pitch. And Diaz is at the on-deck circle. Rain falling here at the ballpark. A 3-2. Base hit. Tying run comes to the plate. Went to 3-2. McHenry with a 3-hit night.
You don't expect him to hit a lot. They want him for his defense. He's done both tonight. Diaz, a veteran pinch hitter. He 351 his last 15 games. .320 this month.
5 years with Atlanta. That's where we saw him. Now with the Buccos. Breaking ball hit out of play. Diaz, you think about home runs, the most he has hit in a year was in 09. He had 13 in 125 at bats.
But a pretty competitive pinch hitter, or a guy late in the ball game, is going to battle you. I like to think you hit the ball on the ground, you can get your double play.
0-1 pitch. 0-2. Presley is on deck.
Remember, he has an outstanding changeup. You show it now, or do you waste it? Changeup with the glove, bounce it.
0-2 pitch. One ball and 2 strikes.
Slider.
Down to chase. It's a strikeout for Salas. And there's 2 away.
A little luck here as Diaz expands the zone, goes way out, and goes after a pitch. Nice block by Molina. 2 down, 1 to go.
Presley over 3 with a walk back in the 5th. 2 ground outs and a fly out. He represents the tying run. It's a liner, and this game is over. The Cardinals have won 2 straight. And Salas finishes it off.
What a great game. It would have been really tough after the great first inning, but Carpenter really battled. Salas finishes it off. Great hitting by the ball club. 15 hits, scored 6 runs, and we're a little closer to first place.
So the Cardinals hold on. They take game 1 of the series 6-4 over the Buccos. It started early with Albert Pujols going deep. Part of a 4-run first. David Freese all smiles as well. The glad hand from Jose Oquendo as he went deep in the first. After that, the pitching of the veteran, the Bulldog, Chris Carpenter, as he picked up the win, his 6th on the year. Salas the save. Win number 52 overall. Post-game show next.
Cards win 6-4, 3 home runs leading the charge. Cal Eldred and I are here to break things down. How big for the Cardinals to win the opener?
Huge. You're going into Pittsburgh, and Paolo said it in the pregame. It's never easy to go in there and win. They win the first one, one of the next 2, and they've won the series in Pittsburgh. Been a while since Pittsburgh lost one at home.
More from Cal coming up. Plus, it's the biggest series of the year, and it's against the Pirates. We'll tell you how that happened and break down game 1 of this 3-game set. Plus, Pittsburgh has been home away from home for Chris Carpenter. Not quite that homey tonight. And we'll take you back to PNC for player reaction and some Friday Night Tony TV. Plus, someone's got a hot date with a Hungo Award. The answer is it's birthday boy Alex Trebek's favorite post-game show. The question, what is Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live? That, by the way, is coming up next.
Welcome to Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live.
Here's a high fly ball. McCutchen is back at the wall, leaps in, it's gone. Home run, Yadier Molina, and some insurance here in the 8th.
Yachty with a bomb, his 6th of the year. A solo shot made it 6-4 Cardinals, and the Cardinals go on to win by the final of 6-4. And the standings look like this. The Cardinals a half game back of Milwaukee right now, but making a move as the Brewers just getting underway. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside our Fox Sports Midwest studio in St. Louis for the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. He's former Cardinal right-hander Cal Eldred. I'm the ambidextrous host, Jim Hayes. And coming up, it's back to the banks of the Allegheny for Cardinal player reaction and Tony La Russa's post-game thoughts, plus somebody's getting a hungo. And in the pregame, Cal, we talked about how Albert loves playing in Pittsburgh, and he played like it tonight.
Yes, he did. When you get 4 hits in a ball game and you drive the ball to right and you hook a double that bounces over the wall to left, and it didn't matter who they put on the mound, he was driving the baseball. He's not back. He's been back, and his swing is very, very consistent.
And he loves Pittsburgh. Remember, Cardinal fans, here on Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live, the tweet is on. Send us your questions and comments via Twitter to @FSMidwest, and we'll answer some of them throughout tonight's program. All right, we get right back to the Steel City. Pat Paris standing by with Albert Pujols, our Mid-America Chevy Dealers Player of the Game. Pat?
I think, we scored those 4 runs right away off the bag. That's having our ace in the mound. That's always huge. That's something that we had a lot of trouble for Chris early, scoring runs early for him. And he fight, he got into trouble. He made some good pitch, but I think besides Chris, the guys you need to give credit is Yadi, with a big 100 right.
This Pirate Ball Club obviously in first place, playing some very good baseball. How important was it to get this first one of what they're looking at as a very big series?
Well, it's a big series, obviously, because they're in first place. So, you come here and they're in first place and you want to knock those guys down. But you're going to face those guys about 3 or 4 more times, and then it's just their win today. We just need to come up tomorrow and hopefully win this series. They're playing well, and that's something that you can look over the last couple of years. They got some young players over there, man. The players are getting hard, they're hungry, and they're really good ball club. You can't take that team for granted, and you can't take any ball club for granted.
Finally, Albert, obviously the wrist must be feeling pretty good because you're swinging the bat very well right now.
Well, that's something, that I feel comfortable. I thought that 15 days was going to be enough, because like I said before, I wasn't going to put myself in a situation where I'm going to hurt the team and hurt it worse and then miss the rest of the season. I felt that I can play, and if I can do that, thank God, there was only 2 weeks. I'm going to be out there and give my best, for this
tonight, and go get them tomorrow.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it, Pat.
That's Albert Pujols. Jim, Cal, we'll send it back to you.
History repeating itself. Flashback, April 17, 2006. Cards at the Bucks. Deja boom. 2-run shot for Albert Pujols off Paul Maholm. The Cards won it 2-1. How about tonight? First inning, 1 aboard for Albert Pujols facing Paul Maholm. And that was a no doubt.
That was no doubt. Not quite in the same spot, but when you're driving the ball that way to right center and center field, that's a bomb. And kept
Albert,
on rolling.
Yeah, kept it going. And Albert with some good base running here gets a double out of this. Just keeps going. It's almost like outfielders don't see Albert Pujols. Ricky Horton calls him invisible.
Well, I think he slowed down and then he saw the throw was going to be off, so he took off again.
And he kept it going in the 7th inning. Pujols with another base hit, and he wasn't done. He just poured it on all night. I believe we'll have another graphic. This in the 9th. Ho-hum. He dumps it into the corner, takes 2 out of this. And it's not surprising, really, when you know Albert's career numbers against Paul Maholm, what he did to Maholm early on. This is against one pitcher, 21 for 36, and we're talking good sample size here. 583 batting average. If you're Maholm, whatever you thought you knew about how to pitch Albert Pujols, stop it.
Well, obviously the fastball down and away doesn't get him, because that pitch from Maholm in the first inning that Albert drove over the fence, that was not that bad of a pitch. We saw it on our Fox tracks. It was down and away in that little corner box, but Albert goes and gets it. He does a very nice job of letting it get deep in the zone and then driving it to right center. But every pitcher in the big leagues, if you play long enough, you've got a guy like Albert, but Albert does it to a lot of guys, Jim.
When you have a series like this, the Cardinals know what's at stake against the Pirates, the team that's really playing well. Important to get a fast start, and that's what the Cardinals did. Albert talked about that.
And right off the bat, they decided, hey, look, this is the St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, this is kind of a big series. You guys are in first place, and we're not. We need to establish that we're still a good ball club.
And John Jay gets things going. A long shot, kind of misplayed out there.
That was a whoops. And then you got John Jay doing what John Jay does, and that's hustling. He didn't think that was going to be off the wall. He just kept hustling the whole way.
Then it's Albert again. We'll probably see this a couple more times tonight. Why not?
Yeah, and don't forget, take a good look at this. This is down and away, and he drives it. That's early in the ball game, and Albert talked about the fact that giving Carp some runs early in the ball game lets him relax and do what Carp does. That's just deal.
Then Lance Berkman, past third, gets a double as the Cardinals pour it on in the first. Lance showing a little speed on the base pass.
Well, and I think you saw both Lance and Albert come around first base and try to recognize, can I get there? And they did. And then David Freese says, now you can walk in, Lance. I'm just going to drive one inside out over the right field wall.
Now, you've seen Freese's stroke improving. We'll get to that later on, but that was a nice swing, and it seems like David's in a pretty good place right now.
He is in a pretty good place. When you see hitters like Albert and Freezer letting the ball get deep over home plate and driving it to right field, they're going to have good numbers.
We talked about the Cardinals' success against the Pirates, and it's pretty good. .644 winning percentage. Best against any team. Yankees versus Orioles, slightly better, but that's one team owning another.
In their own division, you look at the Yankees, what they are able to do to the Orioles. Obviously, the Yankees, probably twice the payroll as the Cardinals, but the Cardinals for so long now have dominated the Pirates in their division, and those are wins that they can count on in their division. They still have to play them, though. Pirates are a better ball club now.
We see Berkman chipping in Pujols, but right now Matt Holliday's in a tough stretch.
He is in a tough stretch. You saw him strike out today, and he slams his bat on home plate, and it breaks. That's unlike Matt Holliday. We saw him pop up a couple times earlier in the series against the Mets and even the Reds, and you can see him being frustrated. And they're trying to pitch him inside, so I think he's figuring that out. But sometimes after you've been on the DL, it just takes a good number of big league at-bats to get back in the flow. We've seen it happen with David Freese and Skip Schumacher.
Pujols likes hitting in Pittsburgh. Chris Carpenter likes pitching in Pittsburgh. Wasn't as good as he usually is, but plenty good. We'll look at his night next. Cardinals win 6-4 in Pittsburgh.
Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. When you play, students win. And by Gila Tech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. If you have water in your basement or crawl space, contact Gila Tech today.
Cardinals win the opener in Pittsburgh. Let's take a look. Top of the first, Albert Pujols up after a John Jay triple. Pujols hitting .576 going in against Mahalam. Maybe they should have walked him.
You said we were going to see that again. Yes, and I was saying I'd walk him.
That's Albert's 22nd long ball of the year. Cards up 2-zip, 2 batters later. David Freese comes up with Lance Berkman on, and bye-bye. You say he's heating up.
I think he's heating up, letting the ball get deep. Nice to see.
4-zip, 4-1 now. Cardinals in the bottom of the second. Mahalam up with 2 aboard, and he's going to line one right up the middle. Ronnie Cedeno comes around to score, but Michael McHenry is thrown out at third. Pirates do. Freese makes the tag, cut the lead to 4-2. Carpenter gets him back top of the third. Runners at first and second. A liner to center, and it gets down. Yachty comes around to score. 5-2 Cards on Carp's first RBI since September 10th of last year. We go to the bottom of the fourth, same score. Lyle Overbay up, and Carp gets him to strike out on the swinging strikeout. Cardinal strikeout number 987 for Carp, passing Matt Morris for 4th on the all-time Cardinal list. Still 5-2. Bottom of the 6th, Garrett Jones up with 2 aboard. A little Texas leaguer drops. Andrew McCutchen and Lyle Overbay chug home to score. Jones is gunned, but the lead is cut to 5-4. We go to the top 8. A couple of bloopers there, no doubt. Top 8, Yachty, a little insurance. That's a bomb.
That is a bomb in Pittsburgh. If anyone's been there, that is a long way, Cardinal fans. That is a bomb. It says .399, but it looks a lot deeper than that.
6-4. Bottom 9, Fernando Salas on to close it out. Taking over for Carp, who was outstanding tonight. A runner aboard. As we see Carpenter get the strikeout. He was done after 8. 10 hits allowed, 4 earned runs for Carp. And then Salas coaxes a soft liner, and the Cardinals win the game 6-4. Good moment for Salas as he gets back on the horse and gets the job done, picks up the save.
Well, what was big for Fernando Salas was the offense of the St. Louis Cardinals the night before in New York. He didn't have to throw. Boggs got to finish the game. He came in fresh for this save against the Pirates.
Let's head back to PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Tony La Russa meeting with the media a short time ago.
Well, I mean, we were ready to play early, and I mean, they played 9 as they've been playing, which we expect from them. That's why they're having a good year. But Carp hung in there, hit some balls hard, caught some balls that hit hard, and they had some that weren't hit hard. But that's just the game. But 8th inning was big to get a 0. He got it for us.
Just talked to Albert. He said, really, credit goes to Yachty, too. Not only catching the carp, but hitting that home run was big.
Well, it's typical, but he's correct. You know, Yachty did a great job behind the plate and had some really big hits, and that's why there's nobody better, either league.
Albert just has some phenomenal games at this ballpark.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you look at his all ballparks,
yeah.
he does it every place he plays. He's just a phenomenal hitter. There's nothing special, but, you know, here he just hits everywhere.
Tony, you haven't seen Pirate staff since April, and you had 3 homers on 3 first pitches. Is that great scouting or great hitting? Or?
Nah, believe me, we'll talk Sunday afternoon, because I know Mahomes been really good in this park. He's always tough. You know, he just got a little bit of the plate, and our guys centered it. It's not easy to see early, and then the next 2 days guys are having an outstanding season, so it's just one of those games. I mean, Carp's been pitching great. They got 4 off him.
Hey, Tony, I think Terrio's at bat was 8 pitches. I think the next 5 guys who all got hits did it in a span of 8 pitches. Was there a concerted effort to attack him early in count, or not?
No, I just get ready to hit. I mean, you have good pitching. You know, you're not going to get many pitches to hit if you see one. Sometimes the first one, sometimes the third one, whatever. But just be ready to hit. There wasn't anything special. We do that. It's kind of an approach all the time.
Tony La Russa and Cardinal fans glad that the Cardinals able to win the opener in Pittsburgh 6-4. The final, Chris Carpenter, very good in this one. Against Pittsburgh, I think his ERA 2.09 going in. Not quite that good. He likes pitching in Pittsburgh, but he was good enough. He's our king of the hill.
He is our king of the hill. Lots of reasons why Chris Carpenter should be our king of the hill. One of them, you give him a lot of credit. You love seeing your ace being the king of the hill. But one of those is he retired the last 7 hitters that he faced. That's a 1-2-3 in the 7th, a 1-2-3 in the 8th, and the final out, obviously in the 6th inning. He gives up 10 hits. So a couple of those were bloopers, especially in the 6th inning. He gives up a couple bloops. Well, the one to Garrett Jones drives in 2 runs. So his numbers may have looked better if he doesn't give up that bloop. But also, his curveball was very dominant tonight. As I say that, they show it beautifully. And you do give him a lot of credit because of this. He's swinging the bat. That's a down and away pitch. A down and away pitch did not work very well for Paul Maholm tonight.
2 hits for Carpenter, also had the RBI, so Carpenter getting it done on the hill and also at the plate. That's a nice stroke.
That's a nice stroke. I've seen it a lot throwing BP to him, Jim. You've been out there, and he takes me deep. So that if he can do that, he obviously can get some hits there.
Good numbers for Carp against the Pirates, and you see the ERA jumps a little bit to 2.24, but overall 12-2. That, my friend, is dominant.
And dominance, and you know, when you're that good, it takes 2 columns because you have so many statistics that are so good. But 12-2 with a 2.24 earned run average, and when you have that kind of a walk to strikeout ratio, that is total dominance.
Chris Carpenter in a pretty good stretch right now.
He is in a very good stretch.
What turned it around for him? Because he had good moments early on in the season, but the last 5-6 games or so, he's sort of a different guy. What's different about him?
You know, he and I had a conversation about him using his curveball more, and he admitted that it really wasn't going very well for him at all. We could see that. I could see that. He used his changeup to get out of it. He used his 4-seamer to get going. Then now his 2-seamers come back. His curveball's working now. Also, you heard Al during the ball game talk about how he's kind of got that feistiness coming back. And we've seen saw a little bit of that tonight.
Last 6 for Carpenter, how about 5-0, 2.15? And Carpenter did have to battle through some of that feistiness, and that's our Don Brown deal.
It is. We had some feistiness going on in the 1st inning and in the 3rd inning, and it carries over later on to the 5th inning. But the very first pitch of the game to Ryan Theriot from Paul Maholm, you'll see this pitch is high. Mass majority of the time in the big leagues. Laz Diaz, home plate umpire, says that's a strike. Maholm's cruising around the mound. He's going to take a look at home plate. Now he thinks he's going to throw pitch number 2, Jim. That's not going to happen because Laz Diaz has his mask off. He's yelling in the dugout. Who do you think it would be? Who do you think?
Who's yelling?
Who's yelling from the dugout? Give me a
Big
guess.
Carpenter?
It wasn't Carpenter. It was
Dave Duncan?
Dave Duncan, his pitching coach. Maybe. Let's take a
We don't
look.
know that for certain.
No, we're not sure, but it's 0-1. Fastball outside. Now, that pitch is definitely outside. If he'd have called that one, I think someone comes running out of the dugout. But, there's
Dave.
the culprit.
Yeah.
We saw you, Dave. Albert's back there laughing.
I don't think Dave's yelling. He's just looking surly right there.
But when he looks surly, he is very surly. Here's another guy that gets surly. Laz Diaz is upset because after a base hit by Chris Carpenter obviously says something to the home plate umpire. Wally Bell comes over, the first place umpire, and says, "Calm down, Carp."
It's feisty because Carpenter should be happy he just got a base hit, but he can't let it go because he's feisty.
He is feisty. Tony has to come down and say, "Carp, let's calm down." But Laz Diaz will not let Tony come to home plate.
You're not arguing balls and strikes. I don't want to hear it. Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. Then he shoos him a little bit. There, you can see right here, right there. He gives him a little shoo, and Tony doesn't like that.
I think I'm going to try that with Tony.
And then in the 5th inning, this is why Chris Carpenter was upset. Here in the 5th inning to Alex Presley on a 3-1 pitch. Ooh, when you pitch and you as good as Chris Carpenter, you got a Cy Young Award on your mantle. That should be a strike. And he's sitting here looking at the dugout thinking, yeah, I need that. Very next batter, the first pitch down and away, that's a strike. Then a cutter away, and then, big boy hook to Chase Darno.
Now, when you're Chris Carpenter and things are going well, you have the feistiness, but you're able to stay on track because we've seen other times where things came apart on him. That's a sign that he's feeling good.
Yeah, and that's something you have to learn, even especially as a young player. Sometimes it's not that the umpire's doing something wrong or you think it's a strike and it's a ball. Sometimes as you give up a hit or a home run, you lose your concentration. Carp used to do that in the past, especially when it was in Toronto. Now in St. Louis, he calms down and comes back and makes that kind of those 3 pitches right there. That's Don Brown dealing because that's down and away, and big boy hook for the strikeout.
I don't know if he calms down. I just think he harnesses it.
He does harness it. I agree.
Carpenter gets the win tonight. Cardinals beat the Buccos 6-4. We'll hear from Carp when we come back from break. Stick around.